Okay, who is ready to hear a crazy ass story? If you don't like gore, then I would suggest you not watch this video because I basically experienced The Walking Dead yesterday. So what happened was I was driving to work in the morning, and I drive on I-5. It's very bumper to bumper in the morning, especially in the area that this happened. And so I think it's 4 lanes, and then there's one on-ramp that's a merging lane. And I was in the lane farthest to the left, so the fast lane. And I was going like 65 miles an hour, 60, 65. And I'm driving through this area, just cruising, listening to my music, and I look over at the on-ramp, and there I see flashing lights, and I'm thinking like, oh, there must be an accident over there. So I turn my head from looking at that to looking in front of me, and there, not the car directly in front of me, but the car in front of him slams his brakes on, and then the car in front of me swerved out a little bit, but didn't completely go into the right lane, I think because he didn't know if anybody was coming or not. And I like quickly look in my rearview mirror, and I'm like, oh my God, like this is gonna be a pile up. And next thing I know, I see something on the road, like my car hits it, there's obviously impact. And so I just needed to get out of this lineup of cars because I knew people were gonna be slamming on brakes. I'm like, this is gonna be a huge pile up. So I pull over into the right lane, and I start thinking in my head, I'm like, something must have fallen off of somebody's car, like wood or, you know, just something, like people were like swerving to get out of the way. And it wasn't what I hit, it was bones. So I get probably like a football field away from where everything happened. Obviously, like traffic was starting to slow and everything. And I just start thinking in my head, like, you know, just kind of like replaying what happened. And I thought to myself, I was like, that couldn't have been a body. Like that couldn't have been a body. Like, what are the chances? And then I was like, was it a dog? And I'm like, why would a dog be running on this part of the highway? Like, that doesn't make any sense. So then I just keep driving. I'm like this all happened about 2 miles away from the hospital. And that just like kept eating at me in the back of my mind. So like the nearest gas station I saw that was lit up, I was like, I'm gonna pull my car over and get out and like look at if there's like any damage on the front of my car. So I pull over and I get out and I take my iPhone, and it's still like dark in the morning. It was like kind of dark and foggy. The sun doesn't really rise until like the 7 o'clock hour out here. And I get out of my car and I go around the front, and I see that my bumper on this side is like kind of like cracked and popped out. And then I look at my car and I have blood spots on the front of my car. And then up over on this part on the passenger side, there's like guts, flesh, I don't know what it was. And I thought to myself, I go, oh my God, that was a person. Like, that was a person. So I immediately get on Twitter because I know Twitter is like a fast news source. You know, maybe the news isn't tweeting about it, but like an eyewitnesses, they, you know, send a tweet out like they know what's happening. So I immediately get on Twitter, search the part of the highway that I was on, and the news in the newspaper, they said, you know, hashtag scanner, person is running on the highway on I-5. And I immediately was like, oh my God, I fucking hit a person. So I was just in total shock. I pulled my car. Usually I park in like the parking garage at the hospital, and I just parked like on the street, and I just like sat there and I was like, oh my God, like that was a person. Like, what do I do? And so like, obviously it wasn't me who hit the person first. So I get in the elevator with one of my coworkers, and I just literally just said to her, I was like, dude, I just like hit a body on the highway. And she's like, what? I'm like, yeah, like I-5's closed right now. And she was like, holy shit, like that's crazy. And I'm like, yeah. So then I started talking to some of my other coworkers, and so a few people knew before. Our charge nurse does like a report of the unit at 7 o'clock, you know, like the census, kind of like what's going on in the unit for the day. And I was just like standing there, and my work mom was standing across from me, and our charge nurse, she goes, oh yeah, she's like, there's gonna be several late people today. I-5's closed for an accident. And my work mom looked at me after that. She goes, Megan, like, you look like you're gonna cry. But I'm like the type of person that just like internalizes things. So I started asking my coworkers. Two of my coworkers' husbands are state troopers, and so I texted one of them, and I'm like, dude, like, call me. And so she called me, and she's like, you know, you need to file a police report, have them come out and assess the damage. And of course it didn't help when one of my coworkers, who I love, but she's an older lady, kind of says whatever. She goes, well, hopefully you don't get charged with a hit and run. And I'm like, okay, that's like the last thing I need to hear right now. And people are like, Megan, they're like, don't listen to her. You know, you didn't even know it was a body at the time you hit it. Like, you didn't know until you got out and looked at your car and then found stuff on Twitter. And I was like, yeah, that's true. So I called 911, and I said, you know, I was one of the cars that hit this body on the highway. And they're like, okay, give us your number, and as soon as a trooper is freed up from the scene, he'll come out and you'll fill out like an accident report. And besides just some bodily fluids on my car, I mean, the damage really isn't that terrible. Like, my car is still drivable and everything. So he came out probably within like 45 minutes, just like a super nice guy. And he's like, you know, just tell me what happened, like what lane were you in, and who is calling me? God. I'm just gonna ignore that. That was actually my insurance company, but I already talked to him this morning, so he can leave me a voicemail, and I'll call him back. So anyways, what the heck was I saying? Oh, he came out, he was super nice. He goes, you know, just fill out this piece of paper and tell me exactly what you just told me. So I said, okay. And then he like took pictures of my car, and before he came, the news story was starting to come out a little more. Like, this guy was actually running from the police. So there's like the highway, and then the road right off of that, there's like a main drag, and I mean, it's just like classy hotels, you know. So this guy was a 37-year-old transient homeless guy, and it kind of sounds like he was loitering at this hotel, and so the hotel called the cops on him. So he was initially talking to the police, and he gave them a fake name, but he's like obviously the police know him because it's not the first time they've had to deal with him. So somebody said something about a warrant out for his arrest, which is apparently for a felony, and he took off running, jumped a fence, got to the highway, which is 8 lanes, and they yelled at him. They're like, do not run across the highway, and he took off. So he made it over merging lane and then 3 lanes, and then my lane was the one that he got hit in. So yeah, just like a crazy story. And I told the trooper, I said, you know, it makes me feel better that knowing that it was like probably just a piece of shit running from the police. Like, I hate to use that term, but I mean, you're running from the police, you have a warrant for a felony, you're probably not the classiest specimen, you know. Like, it's not like it was somebody who something flew off their car and they stopped on the highway to like walk back to pick it up. Like, this guy was running from the police. So that like gives me some peace of mind. And people at work, you know, obviously people talk to me about it literally all day long. And so that helped. People were like, I can't believe you're working, like you didn't go home. And I'm like, it's better for me to be at work because I'm talking about it, and it's just, I don't know, like, it's not like it was a trauma to me. I'm just very thankful that I wasn't 5 seconds faster and I was the first car that hit him. According to the trooper, I was the 4th car involved. So one of the troopers did post a picture of the first car, which is completely totaled. And so he posted the pictures, and it's like the cars, like the front of the car, like has a body bag draped over it, like the side he would have been running out on that he hit first. So there was a body bag over the car. So I think what happened was like his head and his torso was under that bag, and what I hit were limbs. And like thinking back, now that I'm thinking back, you know, you're so in denial, like that wasn't a person, like that couldn't have been a person. And thinking back, like even the split second that I did see like what was in front of me, I'm like, okay, that could totally be, you know, arms and legs and everything. So yeah, I was fine at work. It was funny. The only funny thing out of the day was the trooper. He was like, I would recommend you get a car wash. Obviously, I feel bad for his family if he even had any, because that sucks, like finding out, you know, your brother, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, was hit by a car on the highway, and then there were several cars after who continued to run him over. I mean, that's really sad. So I feel a lot better today. Last night I got home and my boyfriend, oh shit, I need to get over. And my boyfriend came over and I was like, I just need like a margarita and like some tacos. I had barely eaten all day because my stomach just felt, I don't know, I just like felt sick to my stomach all day. So he took me out for tacos and margaritas, and then we like just came home and went to bed. And I woke up and I feel like a lot better this morning. I talked to my mom, I talked to the insurance company, and yeah, I don't know, I feel a lot better. I wanted to go to Costco to get my car washed, and I get there and I was just on the phone with my mom prior to like filming this, and I told her, I'm like, yeah, I said I'm gonna go to the Costco car wash right now, and I was like, I'm gonna tell the guy, no, I'm not an idiot for getting my car washed in the pouring rain. I actually hit a body yesterday. And she goes, oh my god, she's like, that's something that he's probably never heard. But then I got there and it's closed. So I still have crap on the front of my car, but I've been trying to like run through puddles and get it a little bit cleansed, and then maybe tomorrow I will get it like officially washed. But even last night, usually I back into my parking spot when I get into my parking garage when I get home. So, you know, like you walk out and you like see the front of your car, and I just like completely pulled in. I was like, I do not want to come out here tomorrow and like see the front of my car, like not until it's like cleaned off. It's not like there's like blood and gore all over it, but I mean, it's kind of gross. Like there's still like some flesh on this side that is like kind of falling off, but I'm not freaking touching that, and I'm a nurse, so no thank you. What else? Oh, the insurance company, my mom, because I was at work all day. I've never had to file an insurance claim. I've never been in an accident or anything. And so she called the insurance company and she sent me this long text. She's like, I talked to this person, this is their number, this is your claim number. Like basically they've gotten the claims process started. And she told me, and she's like, they're waiving your deductible, which is $1,000 to get my car fixed. And I'm like, why are they doing that? And she's like, well, don't ask a question. She's like, but when I called, they were like, holy crap, like this is not something we hear every day. And they waived it due to the circumstances. And even my coworker, whose husband's a state trooper, she's like, what do you even claim on your insurance? You know, like uninsured pedestrian walks into traffic. And even the insurance guy today, he was like, yeah, he's like, this is just weird circumstances. He's like, because it's not like you hit other cars or anything. He's like, you hit a dead body. And he's like, this is gonna be a pretty fast claims process, so probably open it and close it, so, and then I'll, you know, get my car fixed. But yeah, it's just, it's such a weird thing. And obviously he was dead on impact. I mean, you're going 65 miles an hour, you have to, I hope he was, honestly, I hope he was on like some good drugs and literally didn't feel a damn thing. Like that's, oh my God, it gives me goosebumps. I can't even think about it. So now I think that's all I have to say about that. But yeah, I'm feeling a lot better. So I don't know how many days it'll take me to post this up, but it happened on November 4th. So I don't know, maybe I'll post this in a few days. But now it's the Sephora sale, and I just was like, I just need a day of retail therapy. Like, this happened on my birthday weekend, basically, like going into it, and it's the Sephora sale, so I'm gonna go and get some things. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. I feel like I just need to like decompress. I got a coffee and I'm good to go. So yeah, that's it. That's my crazy story. I hope I didn't gross you guys out too much. I'm like not gonna post pictures of the car that the trooper posted or anything, like the first car. And I'm not gonna post like gory stuff on my car, like the blood spots and everything. But yeah, that happened to me. It's a crazy story. Like, what are the freaking chances? Crazy ass story.